Sorry we missed the intro, but I had to restart the game after a weird series of out of syncs. And we are into the round of 32, FreakinAndy versus Lucho, catching up to live time. We only missed Andy move forward to try and lame, which didn't work. And Andy is now going to push a couple of his deer. Really interesting matchup for me because their styles are so different. Andy's more known for more closed maps, but I think he gets a bad reputation. I think people just assume that he can't play open maps, which I think is just inaccurate. He does tend to perform well on more mixed maps and more strategy. But yeah, I mean, I think he could still compete on Arabia. Lucho, it's like 18, 19 years old now, one of those two, and is so good with meta. Like, so freaking good with meta. He's been extremely active on the ladder. He's one of the most active ranked players. He's very young, very motivated, and he seems like that next caliber top pro, but he lacks the experience. And Andy has been to LAN events. Andy has played lots of online events. And Andy will also know that Lucho is almost always meta. So as the two militia come forward here from Lucho, little drush action. Andy backs away with his scout. And Andy will know the pressure is going to be coming in here. But yeah, I'm just curious to see what type of strats Andy has planned here against Lucho today. But style-wise, I think that Lucho should be the favorite because he plays so clean. But will he be able to get the types of gameplay that he wants here today against the pressure from Andy? We'll see. So, nice walls here from Andy. Very well played. Made it look easy. Does have to be careful. That one tree's being chopped. And Lucho's just going to attack the house now. And that palisade's been prepped in case that tree goes down. Andy comes this way, pushes in the final deer, and he's just planning around fast feudal into some scouts. If I didn't say so already, he's playing as the way. So he'll get the eco boost, or the Vil boost when getting the eco upgrades. That's not really an issue for the Persians, though. Like, Persians don't have to worry about that because their TC just naturally works faster. And now Lucho goes for the follow-up with the two militia. Now, viewers who watched the previous set, remember the timings for Stone, please, every time he tried this. It always felt like by the time he got his 4 militia together, that it was too late. But he's so quick with this. He's got 4 militia here already. And he should be able to get man-at-arms. So it's pretty good for Lucho. He's adding a spear, and he's going to have man-at-arms. So far, he's just attacked the house, but he'll take that house down probably. His scout able to get away from the spearman hit. And Andy just now has his second scout out, so that's not enough to engage on this at all. Ghostfire says, is it a good sign I might be getting better at the game if I'm hitting imp before anyone in 4v4 and 3v3 games? Potentially. Side question, are your teammates dying more frequently? Because if you're getting imp faster and your teammates are dying faster, that could be that you are booming too much and you're not supporting your team. So it does kind of depend. Generally speaking, though, that's a good thing. But depending on the map and the situation, it can be pretty risky to hit imp before anyone if your flanks need support. Arson now for Lucho. So he'll have the additional damage output with the infantry against the walls here. And early tower from Andy. Now that's a unique play from Andy. It's not the type of tower spot that he would have wanted, but he can't fight this right now. And he needs those man-at-arms forced away, and he will do so with that. Now Lucho needs to attack somewhere else. I would attack the stable, personally. Lucho never got double bit, but he took the words out of my mouth. And he's getting double bit now. So pretty clean. Has the archers here. Knows the scouts are around. Gets the perfect quick walls there in the berries. No problem. Already walled off on the gold. Farming eco's looking good. Yeah, and now he's taking down the stable. I think Andy's way too late to an archer range. This is not it. Like, walling instead of an archer range and a couple skirmishers is... It's not great. think he needs the army a little bit faster here. This is going to be the weakness for Andy today. As he tries to cut some corners, but maybe he can engage on this. I don't know, though. Feels like it's going to be pretty tough. I guess if he makes one more scout, he can. Lucho's still sitting at home with the archers, home with the spears, waiting for a blacksmith for fletching. Yeah, you know what? I take it back. Andy's actually timing this pretty nicely. The walls are going to be helpful later on. I'm assuming Andy knows about the gold in the back, so if he walls back here, he can just take that. The tower is kind of awkward for the long term, but it kept him out of some crazy pressure in the early term. And Lucho is going to be... Oh, he's going to be found. And all the units were stacked up there on both sides. But yeah, the follow-up spearman wasn't quite here on time for Lucho, but that was a good fight. All of his units were engaging there. They're all stacked on top of each other. I don't think Andy was expecting that. Lucho was essentially retreating there, and Andy thought that Lucho wasn't going to notice and fight. Lucho can just go to the wood line now, pressure the wood line, or he can pressure the stable again. He's adding a stable at home because he's expecting some skirms. Oh, he needs to save this Vil, but the scouts are here at the worst possible time. Nice job, though, from Lucho. He does kill a scout with the villager, which is something. And now he's camping the wood line. So yeah, now this tower looks awful. And Andy's eco is a complete mess because he's just out of berries too, and all those villagers needed to come to wood. Meanwhile, the eco balance for Lucho is just perfect. He's playing super clean. He's looking really confident as well. He's not trying to do anything fancy. He's sticking to his game plan. More scouts are on the way. More archers are on the way. And Andy's got to place a lumber camp over here. This is the type of thing that people who are expecting Lucho to stomp were expecting from Andy. Super late on some army numbers. Super heavy on walls. And he's more of an adaptive player, but like... I think sometimes his transitions are a weak point for him. T90, how do you know he's looking confident? I know you're joking, but I can tell he's confident by his style. The timing of when he moves out shows some confidence. If you're an underdog, sometimes you kind of sit back and wait for the opponent to come to you, and you don't take the fight to the opponent. Forging's on the way now, too. So stable could eventually go down. Man-at-Arms still get value there, at least. And Lucho has a couple scouts out on the field. There's only 2 here. He'll have more in a second. This is typical Andy. Low on upgrades. Fighting with skirms that don't have armor or fletching. But it's just not good. Not good for what he needs. The blacksmith's coming up now. Stable will be out of the picture. And Lucho's going to full wall his base. Super smooth behind. Beautiful play behind this. And Castle Age could be in before you know it, as long as he stops making the scouts. That is the one thing. I think maybe he's overproducing scouts right now. I don't know how much value the scouts give him against the walls. If he didn't have the scouts, the skirms from Andy can move out, and it'd be a very different game. So you do need some. Andy's still alive. Still chilling. Planning on a big Castle Age, I think. Woodline is a concern. I think maybe Lucho is pressuring the wrong side. Maybe moving back to the wood side would be more ideal. But if he breaks in... Yeah, I mean, he's in. If he breaks in, he could just feast on everything in the back here. Andy's got to bring everything back home. And I think Lucho just doesn't want to overextend here. He knows running in would force Andy back. He was expecting Andy to maybe come from behind with the skirmishers. He still doesn't know. This reminds me of growing up in like the summertime. My parents would be like, "Are you staying in or staying out? Stop leaving the door open. You're ruining the air conditioning bill." I don't Did you guys have that growing up? All right, you're either inside or you're outside. Stop it. Air conditioning's too expensive. It went in and out like 3 times. Makes sense. He's like 18 years old. So, I mean, he doesn't have an understanding on air conditioning bill yet. I mean, props to Andy. He's on the way up. He's going to go 3 ranges. Something that's pretty painful here, though, is losing the stable. He can't get bloodlines for his potential Jean Bays. And with more eco upgrades, Andy can get more vills. When you make it to Castle Age, you do get available more eco upgrades, and Andy's he's still in this. 1 range, 1 stable from Lucho, full eco otherwise. He will still have a very big army. At T90, I didn't have air conditioning or heating in my small town growing up. So rude of you to boast about your privileges. I wasn't trying to boast about my privileges, okay? My dad, so to give you an idea of how well our air conditioning worked, my dad did all of the, I think I was like 13, and he is not an AC guy, and he installed central air with old, like, pipes that he found in the basement or something like that. My dad did it all himself. It actually was very good. I mean, going from no air conditioning to air conditioning is a pretty big jump regardless. Yeah, nice villager snipe there from Lucho. And nice houses behind here from Lucho as well to hold the door. And it will be Jean Bay for Andy. I'm pretty certain. Now, they nerfed this recently. Can someone remind me what they nerfed? I think it was mainly the production. No, it was production speed and cost. So it was 2 different aspects of the unit. Lucho wants to get the kills on these skirms with those scouts and the man-at-arms. That's the fight you're fine with taking. These are just leftover units. Andy will always win that fight because the crossbows have to back away. And Lucho's going to need a night buffer here. This is where I think maybe Lucho could consider some skirms. But with this many crossbows, you're committed, and he'll add some siege. They didn't nerf nothing? Okay, if they didn't nerf nothing, then they nerfed something, Crocs. So did they nerf something, or did they nerf nothing? I'm pretty sure they nerfed it. I'm fairly certain they nerfed it, right? I thought they nerfed it. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought they did. I'd have to double check. Scorpion's going to be out. Tough to utilize the Scorpion right now. Big armies here. Still no second TC for the Persian player. Wei didn't get a nerf. Okay. All right. Really? Okay. Sorry. I've got like 25 different conversations going behind the scenes about civs and civ balance and stuff like that, so maybe something else is on my mind. Traction Trebs got nerfed. Yeah, okay. So Traction Trebs got nerfed, but the Jean Bays are the same. Got it. So, still 1 TC from Lucho. I actually don't hate it. I think it's a good play because the Persian TC works so fast that it allows you to fully invest into army. You can delay your TCs with Persians and still be fine. Too often, I see people with multiple town centers, and then they have no army with the Persians. But Andy has stayed alive, guys. It's impressive. Against the meta that looked very strong and very confident, he's stayed alive. The Jean Bays are here. If they haven't been nerfed, I think the unit's really solid. I think they're either too cheap or they produce too fast. As you could gather from my messages before. But maybe Lucho's got him trapped here. The knights go to the right side. He just kind of passes them there on stand grounds. And Andy should be able to get away here. 2 TCs now for Andy, guys. He's cooking. He's cooking big time. He's got skirms. Got Jean Bays. I think the hill is critical. I would expect a siege workshop soon. Nah, Andy's too much of a boomer. He's going to go for the 3rd TC. Lucho's going to struggle now. Because I think he'll struggle to push up this hill long term. I'm still assuming Andy's going to drop a siege workshop there. But actually, he's just going for Haiguang. So instead of siege, he wants that. Crazy game. 2nd TC for Lucho now. Whose best long-term unit might be the Savar. The range units are definitely not it. Oh, the Scorpions! The Scorpions! The Scorpions somehow don't hit the skirms. And now this... Oh, man, the Scorpions get killed. And now skirms and Jean Bays for Andy. That should be great for Andy. Amazing value. The skirms stay alive. And Lucho's going to lose most of his crossbows. And then the army remaining is Jean Bays. And I like Jean Bays a lot against knights. Against +2 knights as well. No problem as far as I'm concerned. That was a big clear up for Andy there. If Lucho had his Scorpions clicked onto the skirms, though, the skirms would have been deleted. Just tiny differences in the micro there, and nice job from FreakinAndy. Again, Andy gets a bad rep because he's not a player who favorites Arabia or, like, enjoys Arabia. It doesn't mean he can't play Arabia. I feel like every tournament, Andy's always a little bit underrated by somebody. I guess that's the case for any player. Fun fact about FreakinAndy. He has a brother who plays the game, not as high a level, but his name is Freakin' Chris. Which I always thought was cool. So he comes from a deathmatch background, and he and his brother would play. And he plays a decent amount of team games. So it's Freakin' Chris and FreakinAndy. And Freakin' Chris is probably pretty freaking happy with what he's seeing right now from his brother, because Lucho is just struggling against him. And the golds, there's gold over here for Lucho. He can't take that easily. There's golds here. He obviously can't take that easily. And Andy's just taking the relics. And Andy's on stone for an eventual castle. Thing I like about the Jean Bays is that the first initial shot, they tend to do really nice damage even against skirms. So, and they're just mobile. It's basically like it's a unique Cav Archer unit. Does it say the cost of them in Capture Age? It doesn't, right? It's one of my annoying things about Capture Age is it never lets me see the unique unit cost. Another town center? 4 TCs? Damn, I'm thinking like forward castle territory, and he's going to boom even more. Ah, that's what House was talking about. He wants to be able to do this. Yeah, I don't know if that's a paid feature or not. I wouldn't be able to answer. I think you can do this with any version of Capture Age. Lucho's Scorpions haven't done enough. Big shot there from Andy. From Lucho as well. But they'll trade evenly here. Lucho might get one more shot. But the Jean Bays finished the job. Andy is well aware of the gold situation. Check this out. He's got the outpost in the house over there. He's got outposts over on the right side. So he's also getting another relic. Like, he's locked in right now. This is the situation I always have with Persians. You spend so much of your time booming. You never have resources. Like, look, he's not floating any res. Except for gold, I guess. But he's playing at his maximum, but he just doesn't have the resources left over for some army, too. With 3 TCs as the Persians. And pretty soon, Andy will drop a castle. Now, a safe castle wouldn't be horrible. I think a safe castle, it just secures the game, but you win the game if you get a forward castle down right now. It seems like a defensive castle might be. No, I'm seeing Vills come this way. Maybe just a castle on the hill. Because there's still a siege workshop from Lucho, and that's pretty risky stuff. Nice snipe there from Lucho. Andy's got a plan. Freaking Plandy here. That plan should not be forward castle now because he just lost his siege. Big shot on the skirmishers, though. He'll be fine with that. Loses another mangonel. That's worth it. And yeah, he's on the way to the Imperial Age. Castle's going up. Slight villager lead over the Persians. A massive army. 5 relics collected. Every single relic on the map in that monastery. And he's got stone now. And Tiger Cav is really good against skirms, even if you need that now. The Persian economy. That's why you pick them. And then that opening. The opening was so good from Lucho. But Andy just weathered the storm. And with unorthodox timings, too. Remember, I was kind of critical that I wanted the range faster. That's what most Arabia players would do. I thought he was walling too much. That's because I'm thinking like most Arabia players. But he just can play his style and play it well. And then you factor in the experience Andy has after winning the first game. Beautiful snipe there. I think this could affect the mentality for Lucho. Nice Scorpion hits. The thing about John Bays is they don't do as much damage against Siege as a Cav Archer. So it does take quite a few volleys to take down a Scorpion. But I think Andy still has more than enough to do that. He takes it down. He'll take the camels with him. He'll push the town center. He'll drop a forward castle on that TC, which is the Imperial Age TC. And Lucho's just... Any army he has, he basically can't hold on to it. It just dies too quickly here. And, I mean, he'll make it imp. But I don't think he's going to be able to play on for very long here. He'll drop his own castle on the back. He's hoping maybe Andy's all in. And that he can treb this back. But treb it back with what gold? It's going to be tricky. Andy will instantly make traction trebs from his siege workshops. He knows the way. And GG. That was sick. That was impressive from Andy. That was really well played. And before anyone starts to say map difference, right? Before anyone starts to claim that because of how awkward this situation is with the gold for Lucho on both sides, let's not forget how awkward it was for Andy as well. It's just that Andy had the map control. Andy's got a gold here. Andy's got a stone here. Andy's got that gold pretty far on the front. But Andy just had map control, right? Whoever had map control in this gen was going to control those golds and control that position. And that was Andy. So, Jean Bays and Skirmishers with Eco from Andy is really well played. Exactly what he needed. And he starts off the series with a 1-0 victory. He didn't outboom the Persians, but it felt like he had the better overall balance. I guess he didn't have as much on food, but he didn't really need as much food for his units. Andy, if you don't kill him off quickly, is very dangerous. And Lucho's opening was to get a big advantage, but he wasn't able to make it count. All right, so game 2, and Lucho needs to respond here. So let me double check, but I think they both have Chinese. Okay, so they both have Chinese. This hasn't happened that frequently, where they both end up having the same civ, but it is possible. The very first civ pick is a free hidden pick from the civs remaining, and in this case, they both have valued the Chinese. But yeah, number 1 pick for Lucho has to win then, and the weakness of the Chinese is if they get lamed, because they need food. So I like the decision from Andy to try and lame, but for now, he's kind of veering off course. Okay, he's going to find the scout there. He gets a hit. Lucho did bring in that one board pretty quickly. The other board... Oh, that's super safe. That's in the back, man. That's crazy. That's such a good boar against the lame. He also sees there's 4 deer, too. That's also ideal for Chinese. Lucho's going to get his sheep, and he didn't find those. Yeah, I think this is a good opening for Lucho so far. Even we'll bring in the boar before the eagle comes over. And Lucho will have his deer. So yeah, you also with Chinese want as much food as possible. Some of these generations give you 1 deer in random spots, not 4 in one clump. So far so good. Andy's lame has not done anything for him. Kanto, thanks for the 9 months. Memento and Monsieur, thank you for the 4. Max Tape, you're welcome, man. Thanks for not saying you fall asleep to my videos, even if you do. Thanks for the 13. So Andy just has to go home empty-handed. Freaking handy. I don't know. I tried. I think he still will have to open rather aggressively here. Maybe go for Man-at-Arms. That's another build that the Chinese can be pretty weak against. There's actually a chance. It was happening on some other maps, but there's a chance we could see kind of a 5 militia drush. Like big militia numbers here. Because I wouldn't want to make 2 militia against the Chinese. And 2 militia against the civ that has loom is not so good. Oh, man, that deer's going to troll Lucho a little bit, which isn't ideal, but it's not the end of the world because Andy hasn't pushed in anything yet. I love this. Someone's like, man, I must have missed something because the player I've never heard of is 2,800 elo. Yeah, man, Lucho's the real deal. His big standout performance was Titans League. Lucho will be in Titans League Platinum, which is top 24 of the world this upcoming season. To be honest, it's going to be a brutal group for him, though. It might be the toughest group in Platinum League history. I think it's Group B, right? I forget the number, or I guess not the number, the letter. But I think it's Hera, Hart, Vinchester. I'm missing somebody. Hera, Hart, Vinchester. Is it Yo as well in that group? Who is it? Yo. Yeah. And then the 2 promoted players, Sizcon and Lucho. So 2 players get relegated from that group. I mean, that's crazy. That group is insane. We did have some other big groups in the past. Like, we had a group with Dogal, Tato, Yo, MBL, and Nikov, I think. That group, you could argue, is maybe stronger overall, but either way, I mean, for Lucho to come in and be greeted by that group is crazy. Nice job from Andy. I mean, he does disrupt a little bit, but Lucho's got enough food to work with here for his builds. The 2 militia do disrupt that a little. Lucho's just going to come over here and push another one now. Just get as much food as possible. So he's confident he doesn't need the scouting. The nice thing is you're up against Incas that have gone 2 militia. So their follow-up is really only ever going to be ranged units. Maybe they make an extra militia. So I think Lucho will just go for his own ranged building now, just to be ahead of the game on that. Normal opening with Chinese is scouts, but I could see Lucho just going into skirms and archers here. He does go for the range, yep. So I played Lucho a lot before, and he loves his skirmishers. He loves his skirm and adapt. Andy is like, no way, dude. Not happening. That's funny. I mean, I'm looking underneath Lucho's TC. He doesn't have any food right now. He will farm, but you can't say that didn't help a little bit. 2 more militia on the way for Andy now, so he'll go for the same build Lucho did the previous game. Aim to get man-at-arms. Map is very exposed for him on the front. And once man-at-arms is in, maybe arson comes in. An issue I personally have every time I try and do what Lucho's doing is I just have no initiative in the game. And I'm just forever making skirms defensively, and then it's just weird because I don't have any control. Like, there's no offensive pressure. I just feel like I'm in a never-ending cycle of being behind. But a player like Lucho, his micro's so good. The theory is he's faster to skirms than the opponent. He won't take damage to this because he will wall. So it'll be a micro game. And then anything his opponent switches into, like Eagles, he can kill with Knights later. Or Scouts, I guess. But yeah, it's 2 skirms for Lucho. It's 1 skirm for Andy. And Lucho's going to be like, well, I'm ahead by 1. As long as I have walls, the man-at-arms can't kill me. Have to have the walls, though. And he does get the walls. Also, love the fact he has a full wall here. So his gold will be protected long-term. If he can get a wall this way, too, his base is really nice. Here comes Andy now with the spearman just for that scout and a couple skirms moving forward. You know what would be strong here? Is a tower behind this wood line. Would actually be really strong. It's so cool that my brain is thinking about towers more. I don't know if that's a good or a bad sign. But after seeing a couple more towers here or there, I'm starting to think against this type of style that could be really strong. Because do you really just want to allow the Chinese to boom up? I don't think so. There's the stable for Lucho, so he's thinking about scouts, knowing there's going to be eagles out. How did game one go? Game one was good. Game one was good. Andy defended from a lot of pressure. Game one was really awkward for Andy. And now it's kind of awkward for Lucho in the early stages. That it makes sense that the Man-at-Arms would add some value. A Spearman just slightly out of position there for Andy as the scout comes in. And Andy will also see the stable. So Andy should know now. I would love to see Andy back off right now and think about armor for his infantry. Like armor, when the scouts come out, could be really helpful. And you're not going to expect that in a lot of cases in Lucho's position. I mean, these villagers, if they have to run, they could go down, right? Yeah, there's the armor for Andy. When you see the flag on the stable, you know that Lucho is about to take a fight. And you do not have the rest of your army here right now. So you need this to tank. You don't want to lose those skirms. Oh, villager getting hit through the corner. Dead. So Lucho hasn't been able to engage against this. We now have some eagles there. Just passing in the middle, though. There is an eagle that Lucho could get the free snipe on. But now there's another villager exposed and another villager kill for Andy. He's now blocking a little bit here. He's trying to get the third. Needs one more hit. He gets it. That's really nice for Andy. What great openings here from Andy. I mean, the start of game one was awkward, but then we know how he followed that up. And this is, it actually makes me feel good because this is what I was talking about, right? You open skirm and it's just completely on the defensive. And then that next follow-up from the opponent can be really tough to deal with. Still think that Lucho could clear this, but Andy's got a lot of military units right now. More spears on the way, more eagles on the way. The front of the base from Andy, the berries are finished. He needs to pull those vills back. He's walling the back of his base. If he just farms in the back, things could be good there. Look at this army. Lucho can't defend from this army right now. This army is way too big, way too strong. I think he needs a tower on the back. If this army loops around, he's completely cooked back there. Andy will drop the market. Now, when you have your mill this far forward, you can't farm around it. Your castle age time suffers. Nice dive there from Lucho, but there is one spearman at least. Still, Lucho could get some good value from that. But if Andy just continues to shift around here, this will be devastating. I don't think Lucho can take his gold anymore. Lucho takes the spear. Andy's fighting back with vills. You can tell Lucho's a little distracted right now. Andy bringing another spearman over. Andy won't lose that villager. Andy should defend, and he's over on the gold. Oh, man, Lucho has no... He can't take his gold? I mean, forget the gold. He might not be able to take the wood for very long, too. This is so awkward for him. The spearman's still chasing for Andy. Andy will just be patient with his skirms now, and Lucho thankfully has enough gold to go Castle Age, can still click up to Castle Age, but he still has to kill this army eventually. And you need gold for that, usually. Crazy micro here, though. Crazy micro, and these eagles are kind of weak. The man-at-arms, all this stuff could be killed by skirm. If Lucho just straight up skirm micros, he's got chances. Oh, God, but the man-at-arms have the hill. Andy will take the fight. It's probably worth it. There will be some weak villagers left over here, which is why Andy's coming over. Andy wants to kill them off with the skirmishers. 2 more villagers die in there. Make it 3. Make it 4. Make it 5. I don't know how many. I lost track. All I see is 10-0 eco KD for FreakinAndy. This has been the perfect opening against Chinese. 11, 12 now. 12 villager kills. And the Castle Age time is faster for him as well. Or sorry, no, it's slower. My bad. So he fully defended from the attack. He got the 13th villager kill there in the last second. The only thing Lucho has remaining is a couple extra skirms. That should be game ending. As long as Andy just, produces military and keeps himself walled, that should be game ending. That is crazy damage. Just so good from Andy, though. To mix in the proper amount of eagles, to get the armor on the infantry, to do some of these things that you just don't normally see. Lucho is going to try and play knights, which is his best play. And he is doing the right things. Normally, you don't want 4 on wood. But when you lose that many vills, the game's not going to go on long, right? So you got to shift a lot off of wood and get to gold. And play all in. But, I mean, Andy's going to play monks. To get relics and adapt. And as long as Andy's villagers just keep working here. Should be a pretty significant lead for him. Only thing is, Andy doesn't know what Lucho's going for right now. So not knowing that, he's going to go eagles, which is fine with a combination of some spears, but could lose his initial eagles, which could be an issue. Do you guys think Lucho had time to wall this area here? I don't really think he did. I'm just thinking back. There were some moments where Andy kind of backed off. But I guess if you wall it, they're going to break down that wall anyways. Andy did a really good job of just having constant pressure there. TC will go up in the back for Andy, so he'll gain even more vills. He's starting to get the relics now. And the knights for Lucho have not found any targets yet. Lucho walls that up before the eagles get in. Don't see any holes. So, I think that's fine. But the engagements need to come in at some point here for Lucho to have a chance. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. To his credit, he added scouts because he knows Andy's style. He knows Andy will have monks. Andy doesn't have his spears around that monk right now. They're over here. So this could be a really nice fight for Lucho. He needs it. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Yeah, honestly, I think Andy just needed, like, to chill. Like, that's one of those situations where I think if you just sit at home with all your army, send one eagle forward to see what he's making, and then you adapt to it. The normal line of thinking is to take some risks, move out, get some damage, but I think if he just chill, he would have been fine. Because now these eagles just get chased down by the knights here too, so he will take the fight. Tries to use the hill, but the engagements in Castle H have been good for Lucho. Unfortunately, he's down by 15 villagers, so they need to be perfect. I mean, has he lost a unit? Lucho has not lost a unit in Castle H. But now Pikeman's on the way for Andy. Andy needs conversions. He needs more pikes. He only has... Oh, no, he's 3 barracks. He's just not producing. About to be a 20 villager lead. Even losing a knight would be so painful for Lucho. Yeah, Pikeman upgrades in. Pikeman upgrade makes this really complicated to move forward. Yeah, Pikeman upgrade makes it more awkward to take the fights, too. Andy's so greedy right now. I don't think you need town centers. You're already so far ahead. He could overboom. You could have some issues here. The villagers are exposed. There's a hole going into his base. He has to quick wall. But as he quick walls, his monk is now exposed. Nice job from Lucho with the micro. More quick walls from Andy. There's still a hole into his base. He does have some pikes up here. He does have some monks around. That was insanely well played from Andy. But now watch your monks, man. Watch your monks. Watch your monks. Watch your monks. Lucho! Lucho, let's go, dude. This is sick. Man, these scouts are the MVP. Someone get them an award. They've killed 3 monks. They've barely taken any damage. And now, Lucho could pressure this town center with the siege. Andy's gold positions aren't great. I guess he does have that gold to switch to. But the other one's on the front. Full on 1 TC from Lucho. This would be so good. If he can win this game, after losing 13 vills, it would be amazing. I think guard tower defense could be an option eventually for Andy. He needs these monks to stay alive. Andy micros. Andy saves that monk. You lose 1 knight, and that knight can easily just turn around and take your rocket cart. So I think you always need your monks here with the fight if you're Lucho. He's trying to get relics, which is not a bad thing, but I think in considering the game state, all armies forward. Relics don't change a damn thing here. This TC was so bad for Andy. I can't believe he built it. I mean, I can in some ways because in the previous game he went for a TC. Oh, we got a siege tower. Hello. All right, pikes in the siege tower. How do you get in close to the knights? Siege tower it. And this does save the TC because now Lucho has to focus all of his attention on this freaking tower. Gives him some time, but the pikes are in the tower. You got to protect. Oh my god, dude. You got to protect your monks with the pikes. Oh, tower got destroyed. Lucho says, screw your tower. Lucho's playing well. Lucho's micro is top tier right now. The whole army from Andy could just get flattened by this comp. +2 armor as well. Andy is yet to be able to get any conversions. Andy is yet to be able to snipe any of the siege. Andy is yet to, I think, kill a knight. Right? There's siege tower number 2. And the idea is to get the infantry nice and close so you can engage. So will he eject? He'll eject. He also gets some conversions. The pikes are engaging. The siege tower is out of the picture, but knights got converted in the group. The knights on stand ground, though, is not attacking. And Lucho is going to kill the monk and save his siege. Look at the KD, dude. Lucho's got so many good fights this game. Repairing the siege. 48 vills versus 88, though. He cannot lose any of his army. Mangonel stay alive. Andy's still pumping out more pikemen. Andy will still be making more monks. Andy is waiting for a castle. And we could have a doubt castle on our hands, guys. Because he wants that castle now. I just wish he would have gone for his own mangonels. If he went for his own mangonels instead of the siege tower, he could at least aim to hit a shot. But honestly, the siege tower also made it a little bit more awkward for Lucho to engage. So another siege tower's in the queue. Castle's going up on the hill. We might get to see some Kameyuks. That would be a fun unit to see from Andy. I think it's key that Andy realizes this gold is back here. I assume he sees it. Sorry, fight's happening. Where are the monks for Lucho to heal up his knights? What are they doing right now? They're getting relics. I think he needs to be healing constantly. But Andy's still holding. Yeah, he's going to get the relic. Again, does he see the gold? He should. He does know it's there. It's kind of an awkward one to notice. Andy 50 villager lead now. Lucho still hasn't been able to take down the TC or fully break him. Lucho still only killed 1 villager. Siege tower zooming around. Is he a boomer or is he a zoomer? Here, Andy. 3 TCs and siege towers. Impressive. The fights have been bad, but impressive that he stayed in this. And lovely choice to mix in some Kameyuks. You lose the TC now, that's fine. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe he'll take it. He'll take the engagement. The siege tower's coming in from the other side. There is a monk there for Lucho. Lucho's attack round was awesome. His monk will go down, though. The Kameyuks will back away. Siege tower almost dies. But he's just holding. That's all he's doing. He's just still holding the position. He's still maintaining that eco lead. A lot of these knights are really weak for Lucho. The score is basically all kills and scouting right now. It's amazing what Lucho's micro looks like when he's on 1 TC. But, yeah, there he ends up losing the rocket cart. Here, the pikes and the eagles engage. There's some very weak knights in there, guys. We just need Kameyuks instead of pikemen inside this tower. And we could see the game-ending engagement. The Kameyuks are... They have range like a Lancer. They're the original Lancer, honestly. They're probably still pissed off that Step Lancers got introduced. And yeah, they can hit from distance. I think Lucho's unable to get the damage he needs. Andy's looking pretty comfortable right now. Andy will drop a castle there, which is super risky, but the siege is back here, I guess. I mean, if this castle goes up, the siege push stops. And Andy... Wonder what he's thinking about his chances right now. That's crazy he's building that castle there. That is a crazy castle. When there's 5 rocket carts wandering around? It's also crazy Lucho didn't go to deny it. Choo-choo, choo-choo. Choo-choo. This is so stupid, man. Choo-choo. What's faster? A knight or a siege tower with a bunch of pointy boys inside? Actually, the answer is knights are faster, so... But castle's up for Andy. And he can soon build a 3rd castle. And a 60 villager lead for him. He just needs to clear out the rocket carts. Once the rocket carts are cleared out, it's game over. Because he can't get close to these things. These things have 43 kills. Lucho micro, top tier, and Andy loses his rocket cart? What? It died at a really weird time. I don't think Andy's realizing his gold is here. He's TCing this gold. Like, this side of his base is completely fine and protected. Oh my goodness. Are we sure this isn't 2 people? One person's controlling the rocket carts, one person's doing everything else? Can we check Lucha's computer to confirm that there aren't 2 people controlling? Because his micro's insane. It's insane. Does he make a mistake? No, he splits. He splits. But the knights are out of position now. Andy, what is that castle, man? Are you actually placing that castle right now? Yeah. Okay. Andy's gonna place a castle there. Well, knights are over here. Knights are coming home to deny it in a panic. They're running underneath the castle. They're running past Kamiyuks. Andy's castle's at 50%. He's just lost half his Kamiyuks again. We got villagers walking past the TC. But if this castle completes, it's definitely game over. 2 knights were converted. 2 knights can take down the rocket cart. No, they can't, because Lucho attack grounds them like a maniac again. But the castle will go up. That castle's devastating. That castle's crazy. FreakinAndy is just so unique. And he's gonna drop another castle! Is this a tower rush? Or is it a castle drop? Castle, 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 castle. Look how many castles. And then we got siege towers rolling into the base. This doesn't feel like normal AoE right now. Lucho's probably so confused. This is crazy. Now, Imp is on the way for Lucho. So maybe he's still got a chance. Andy just needs to go to Imp himself, probably. Maybe chill out with the siege towers and chill out with the Kamiyuks. Imp TC is here. So Lucho will actually make it to Imp. And Andy's going to make more Kamiyuks and more siege towers. That's his play. He's staying in Castle Age. He's getting ballistics. I'd love to see Fletching come in. Fletching needs to come in so his castles actually range something. I mean, if Lucho is Trebs, he can start to Treb the castles down. So, maybe it's winnable. He just doesn't have a very big army to track these Kamiyuks. And he's going to take more golds, and he's going to take more stones, and he's going to start to drop towers around. He's taking stone everywhere. He's got so much map control. The only thing he doesn't have with that map control is the relics. But Lucho will make it to Imp, and he's just going to be completely surrounded by random armies here. He's going to have nothing. This might be Imp into GG. And a 2-0 lead for FreakinAndy. Andy can take... I mean, everywhere you look, he's taking a gold or a stone. Over here, he just fights back with Vills, drops a tower. He's in such a good position right now. But crazy micro from Lucho. Those rocket carts just always seem to be in the right spot. Problem is the front of his base is getting ramped down. His TC is going down. There's another tower here. He's still 60 villagers behind. FreakinAndy's freaking Ramdy here. I really am not funny. I'm sorry. Freaking siege tower doesn't work, so... I mean, at a certain point, you would want to go imp here if you're Andy. But apparently he disagrees. Maybe he's saving for it now. Only reason Lucho has a chance is because of that 2-to-1 KD. And most of that is the rocket carts. The rocket carts got 53 kills. The 4 relics have saved Lucho's gold situation. The micro back here has been top tier as well. He also has found another gold here. Uh-oh. I'm wondering, will this be the end of the rocket carts? What I would want to switch to in Andy's position is Eagles now. Play Elite Eagle. And give up on the cameo dream. The Cav Archers died on the golds over here. Oh, the relics are gone. All right, so Andy could take those relics pretty soon. Oh, no, the Cav Archers are running into Castle Fire. Pain, 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 pain. But, I mean, how can you blame him? He's got to be in so many different areas. He's surrounded by random stuff all the time. Relic heist from Andy. See you later. The guy's still making cameos, which is pretty wild. I guess he does still have... He has more castles than he has barracks now. And he can lose 2 to 3 castles and still be fine. His plan is capped ram as well. He's got rams massing behind this. Rams are still taking down buildings here. Siege tower is still over here. Guys, how many Arabia games... Lucho's probably played 1,000 games this year. How many Arabia games do you think he went up against Cameo and Siege Tower? 0. I'd put good money on the fact that it's probably 0. Lucho might be more active on the ladder. Lucho might be more meta. But so far, FreakinAndy's just had a really nice game plan for that style. And he has put on a show, man. He has put on a show. Great job from Lucho. That game should have been over. That engagement was ridiculous. Well, all the engagements were ridiculous. The fact that this even went imp is impressive, but eventually the eco just wins you the game. And Andy's castles were in such good positions. The siege towers were everywhere. We are eventually going to see a siege tower nerf, right? Like the infantry, the amount of infantry and siege tower shenanigans we're seeing is crazy right now. But it is a really unique way to use infantry against ranged units and against castles and against TCs. I kind of like it for that. Do I think it's a bit cheesy and over the top? Yeah. Do I want it to ever not be a thing? No. I think there might be a middle ground. But holy crap, that's so cool. And we saw, like, you know, rocket carts are really good against them if you can hit the attack rounds. But Andy just had too big of an eco. Too big of an eco. Tons of wood, food, gold, stone. And he lost some fights. He lost fights all game, but it doesn't matter when your economy's that good. Damn. That's a #1 civ for Lucho, too. The #1 civ on the draft. And now, Andy also has Chinese on his draft. Now, that's not bad, but he's got some other picks out there that can be solid as well. Game 3, Andy's going to lame, which isn't what you see as the Chinese all the time. Normally, you see the Chinese getting lamed. So we have a lame by Lucho. He's stealing a boar. We have a lame by Andy. He's stealing a boar. Lucho didn't know his boar was there. Andy did know his boar was there. So they're just going to trade boars, I guess. In the end, it should be the same amount of food for both players, depending on what else happens, obviously. But I like this from Andy. They say the best form of defense is offense. And so the best way to defend from being lamed is to just lame them before they lame you. Just unfortunately for him here, Lucho has already gotten the lame down. So both scouts will be a bit weaker because of that. That should be pretty even. Andy can fall back to the deer, push in the deer there too. Is missing his sheep here though. So right now he is lacking food. A T90, you should be able to put relics in, and then it should shoot arrows. What, into the siege tower? You're trolling. You're trolling. You just want to annoy me because you know I don't like arrows firing out of a church, okay? I know what you're trying to do, and it's not working. My blood pressure might have raised a little bit but that's completely unrelated. It's completely unrelated, I promise you. Thank you, Brave Sir Robin, for the 44 months. Mankey, thanks for the 3. Genghis Carnage, thanks for the 7. We had a $10 donation 15 minutes ago from Juggler. He said, T90, I got your 3 archer range video on audio that I listen to on repeat while I go to bed. My games laster the next day kind of suck, lol. My game's laster. Okay, Juggler, thank you for reminding me that happened. Thank you for helping me relive that trauma. Appreciate the support. Very helpful. I think this is a generation where Andy might want to plan for life without the main golds. I mean, it's still manageable. If he can get a full wall down here on this map, it's sick. He would then have all of his golds and a stone. But maybe he builds army up over here, and he walls from the woodline to the TC, and then he walls over here. And you plan for this gold. Also curious on what Andy's opening is going to be, because Andy's building a barracks at a time that would not be suitable for scouts. So he might go man-at-arms. I was thinking Lucho might do the same. But Lucho doesn't have his barracks yet. So maybe Lucho will just go for scouts. Guys, real talk. I'm not going to sit here and claim to you that if I manually place a farm that I am the best. Okay? But I am far from the worst. Okay? There are so many players who are way worse at it than me these days. But I just can't escape my past. Is it ever possible, like, if I could somehow become the best farmer, archer range placer in the world, is it ever possible to escape or is it just, should I just give up? Should I just stop trying? Say their name or it's not real. Heart, don't get involved here, okay? Don't get involved. What in the... Andy, rush with your militia. Bro, what has happened to Arabia? I can't. I can't! Listen, call me old for a second, but back in the day, these militia would be marching forward to kill enemy military or villagers, anything really. But in 2025, we're using a militia to push in an extra deer to the berries. Like, what on earth is that crap? Oh my God, it's actually so good. That's so good though. I'm laughing. I'm mad. But I'm mad because I can't do that. That is so good. And he could still get man-at-arms. He could still get double bid-X. He still has the archer range timing. He knows where his opponent is, roughly. That's crazy, man. Holy. I'm impressed. Lucho also has no clue this is coming. Lucho would not expect man-at-arms because it's on the back of a lane game. And he's down 2 games. Look at that from Andy. Did you see that? He saw the house and he backed away. So there would be no vision for Lucho. And Lucho will see the scout. Lucho has no awareness that man-at-arms is going to come in. Oh, man. Andy's being so sneaky. Okay, now I can see it. Did he notice it, though? Andy's being so sneaky. Oh, I feel for Lucho. This is a masterclass from Andy, though. This is a masterclass. But Lucho says not today. Not today. Drops the walls. There's still an exposed villager. That was nice. That was well played. Needs to save that woman there, and she is going to survive. Lots of idle time for Lucho. He pushed in an extra deer himself. Still a lot that could go wrong here. Get some hits there on the scout. And Lucho's scout army has not found any damage at Andy's base right now. It's important to note. And Lucho isn't able to complete the walls. Scout is weak. But yeah, wall is not completed just yet. Honestly, could have been worse. Could have been worse. Oh, this could be worse for Andy. That also could have been worse for him. He saves his archers. If he has the spears and archers in Lucho's base right now, Lucho's dead. But Lucho has a minute here to add a couple skirms and still probably be fine. Pretty adaptable game economically for both. We could see a tech switch from both, and that's a great find from Lucho. Great find. Good micro. Kills off the archers. We'll take the spear as well. That's insane. How has he not lost a villager? How is everything looking so smooth for him at home? In the end, he's probably going to be fully walled, on at least where he wanted to on this side. I think he should just wall from the range to the wood here and from the house to the wood here. Just a little bubble, and he's okay. The berries are almost gone anyways. I mean, Andy's collected more resources, but Andy's invested more resources with Man-at-Arms. And I'm not sure they get any value. And hello, villager kill. Nope. Looks like Lucha misjudged that one. And there's just auto scout from Andy. Auto scout gets sniped, and Andy's base is kind of wide open here. He's playing for those big walls. But imagine if you take this gold and then you simplify your walls. Maybe I've watched one too many MBL games. But that's definitely what MBL would do. Big walls can be pretty risky here. And gold is exposed. Lucho loses his scout. But Lucho's got some ranged units here. Nice quick walls from Andy. Micro is really good from both players. I'm so jealous. The scouts come in for the archers. Archers get saved. Archer gets sniped. And Andy still needs that gold. I like the decision from Lucho to run in with the scouts. Keep the scouts in there and then just play ranged units behind. It's perfect. They're both playing insanely well. So easy to just have like all your spears in the wrong spot if you're Andy. He's got them all waiting perfectly. No fletching for Lucho is kind of surprising. I think he's overextending a little bit. But good players can get value from skirmishers before that upgrade pretty frequently. So I think he's expecting that. Andy will have some pretty nice full walls down if he can complete them. And just looking back at Lucho's base. Not seeing the food to go to Castle Age anytime soon because he's producing the skirms. And his skirms are very weak right now. If Andy can complete these walls, he has an amazing map. Look at all those golds and stones. It's just so ambitious to get these walls down. You're never expecting it to happen. T90, why was he focusing the archers instead of the pikes? Because this is about scalability now. This is not about what army is useful for the next minute. It's about what army is useful for the next 10, and archers are key. These spears are just to get Andy safe, and then once he's safe, he doesn't care about them. He can delete them. So it was the right play to focus on the archers, in my opinion. Andy will drop a market. He was a little paranoid the scouts might come in here. So market and house. And it seems like Castle Age times would be kind of similar here. Lucho's eco balance definitely fell off a little bit. He got 12 on gold at a certain point. I think 10 is higher than he needs, but he'll compensate with the market, buy some food. That'll balance out nicely. I think you play 2-range crossbowmen here as Portuguese. And I think the Chinese could do the same. I wouldn't mind that from Andy, but Andy's more of like... Andy will go 1 TC a lot here. Or sorry, 1 archer range. Not 1 TC, and add town centers. The scouts shouldn't break through on this side. Army for Andy and marches forward, where it's not walled for Lucho. But Lucho has a mix of skirms and archers. And micro is going to be needed. But I think that's an army, that's an engagement that Lucho will be very happy to take. And yeah, good fight. Really nice fight. So what's Andy's army comp now? Is Andy's army comp going to be knights? Because he's not making any more range units. He shows that he has the stable. So that pretty much confirms it's going to be knights in Lucho's mind. Lucho will happily chase down with the skirms. Lucho will use the scouts. I guess Andy got some kills from that. But feels kind of awkward now. Portuguese can keep pace with the Chinese eco. So even though it's 0 kills, 0 deaths, Portuguese just have the ability to make so much army while also booming. Andy will hide the other stable behind. So the plan is knights. But I think it's super obvious for Lucho now. Lucho needs to wall this. This needs to be walled. Everything needs to be walled. And then he's fine. I don't know if Hart's still watching or any other player who's out there, maybe higher elo than me. Do you think you should go Monastery or Ballistics here? Because I think I would normally go Monastery, or I would normally go Ballistics. Like, I think the last thing I would do is go forward Siege Workshop against Knights. I think a Monastery could be really valuable. You obviously have to be walled. Lucho wants to go for the kill right now. I am just absolutely shocked that Andy has not moved over to this gold or this gold. That's crazy. Like, you know you're up against crossbowmen, and you don't preemptively move over to the golds at all? Okay, so someone in chat said Monastery. Dr. Sasso, I'm going to assume is someone we can trust. And they agree. I think Andy needed more foresight here. But he tends to use the market a lot. He sold a little bit. Units from Lucho are going to be through, and Lucho's got a nice little forward siege position. And he's also got a Monastery prepped. The only thing that a player like Andy has a tendency to do is counterattack. So if this isn't walled, he might sneak in with some knights. But right now, he's going to have a really rough time. But he will have +2 armor. So against knights, you want to open Monastery, then add the siege. Because if you don't have the monk right now, enough knights could come out and clear this. But the crossbow number is still valuable. There is a monk on the way. This should be fine. Yeah, Andy will look to put a stop to this. The monk is there. That's at least 1 conversion. The stable will be gone. That's worth it already. Good micro from Lucho here. He'll have more monks in queue, probably. I don't know if he needs more siege. Andy's still not dead. Let's not forget the first game. But Andy's weak units are falling back. He'll need to make his own monk. And Lucho will still hold the position. Lucho now with more archer ranges. Wow. Okay. So, the play that I typically associate with Lucho is never this. Never this. It's always super clean, like 2 military buildings max, maybe 3, TC timings, and eco. He's going to go 4 range cav archers behind this. Big commitment. Big commitment. And it could be overkill, but the fact that he's also got the second TC and some good eco upgrades and has taken down that stable means he's going to have some time. And he just has the weak knights back there waiting for a monk. And there goes the knight from FreakinAndy, hoping for a counterattack, which will obviously do nothing. But I mean, Portuguese cav archers are decent. It's not the normal unit you associate with them, but they can kind of do everything. The big upgrades you're looking for cav archers in Castle Age would be Thumb Ring. They have that. It's also cheaper, too, because they're Portuguese. If Andy ever had a base where he didn't need his main gold, this would be it. He's got the stone and 2 other golds back there, but he's still just 1 TC here. And he's about to be pressured. Now ballistics would make sense. There's the university. He does not have the resources to produce out of 4 ranges, but he might eventually, so. Only 1 villager kill. Yeah, 2 town centers with Chinese here when you're trying to go full knights would be really hard to produce. But when you're going cav archers or crossbows or monks or anything that doesn't cost food, you can boom like crazy. Which is why we tend to see a lot of ranged units in Castle Age, so players can boom. I feel like this is Lucho's game. Andy will have to be creative. 3 town centers versus 2. Nice forward position for Lucho. Really nice army. And Andy has to come out here eventually. And if he does, Lucho should see him. See, I always get really paranoid when I play against Andy because you just don't expect the guy to have an army back there. He's just so patient. Like, I would see this and think he's counterattacking me. I'd be really paranoid. I kind of like the crossbows at home. Because you have something at home if that does happen. Okay, villager got sniped there. Nice calculated aggression from Lucho. He sees the monks, but he doesn't see the knights back there. Oh, and he goes in for the monks. And he might regret that. That's fine. Portuguese units. He kills a monk. He kills the imposter. And will end up killing the knight as well. But he just tried to use a conversion there. Okay, now he sees the knights. He does have 2 more monks inside the monastery, and that's a lot of knights. And Andy has life. Out of nowhere, Andy shows up to take the map control. And he just bought the stone for a 3rd town center behind this, but nice job from Lucho. This is why being on Cav Archer is nice, because you can run away from the knights. Monks still are not popping out of that monastery yet. Yeah, Lucho holds. Knight there runs away for Lucho. Now, if he pops out of the monastery right now, he'll have 3 monks and he can get crazy conversions. Right now, boom. It's game ending if he gets 3 conversions there. Snipes the Scorpion. Has a big Cav Archer mass behind. I just don't think Andy can take the fights. Right? Like, Andy can't run forward because the monks. Nice job from Lucho. He's going for a 4th town center behind. Only thing economically I could really point out. Obviously, you're always going to need more farms, but Wheelbarrow needed to come in. That's coming in now. Also, stone income is the next big thing, and he's building a TC on stone. I don't hate 5 TCs here. Sounds a little bit weird, but it just helps you with protection against knights. Because you know there will be some raids eventually, and at least you have protection on your stone. It's just frustrating to kill a player like Andy, because you got to hold the map for so long. But oftentimes, what Andy does a good job of is he will kill you when you try and go for the finishing blow. If you try and go all in or try and kill his TCs, you can't. But if you just play the late game, you play for the map, you kind of chill. There goes Andy with a relic. Early Imperial Age, you could maybe drop a castle and then get the damage done. And there are more knights for Andy being masked back here. He continues to just hide that fact. But Lucho is planning on Imp. And he's going to sneak to the left side here. Lucho's building houses here, likely for vision more than anything. And he'll see that that's where the knights are, and he'll chase them down. The thing is, like, 16 knights can't engage against 24 Cav Archers, because the Cav Archers can just hit and run. So, with the unit control this good, I'm always going with the ranged units, and Andy knows it. But, if Lucho goes in and... Oh! Careful! Careful, 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 careful. Yeah, Lucho goes in, and the rocket carts loop around. That could be a problem. Yeah, just such good biker with Cav Archers. Cav Archers are so good, man. Lucho's 2.5 minutes away from Imp right now. Andy will start to take the map again. It'd be interesting if Andy could advance forward for a forward castle or something. Ooh, monks? Monks exposed? Monks dead? Okay. This could get nerve-wracking because there's a lot of siege there, and Andy will walk for a forward castle. Lucho is expecting that, though. He can see the villagers. He's dropping his own castle. He drops the houses now as a wall. Palisade and palisade gates to block this off. The crossbows are here. The Cav Archers are here. Castle has to go up for Lucho. Castle definitely has to go up for Andy. Man, that's good micro from Lucho. He snipes the monks with the crossbows, which is sick. But his castle isn't going up. Can't help but feel like Lucho just needs to delete this now. Just delete this castle and just build one in the back. And just wait. Do not take engagements with your Cav Archers. Wait until Imp. You'll get half the stone back. You can buy a little bit more. Drop the castle behind the TC before it goes down. Yeah, there he does that, but now the knights can run through because the TC's not garrisoned. No one wheels in with their rocket carts underneath the TC, but that could have been the play. Oh, man, Andy, this is crazy. Just out of nowhere. Lucho still is the villager lead. He will drop a castle here. He does have cav archers with bracer now, which should kill everything on the map. And that's happening. And Andy's all-in castle age attempt maybe was a little too late. I think this is just a safe castle. Lucho doesn't want to risk it. I would have preferred the castle where we said, but it was risky because the rocket carts could have come in. Now it just has to micro like a madman. Bracer and chemistry's in, so the damage output's ridiculous. They don't get heavy cav archers, so it's far from the best cav archer civ, but still just having bracer and chemistry and having the units be cheap makes them very strong. What's also stronger now is the town centers. So Andy raids here. Andy looks for some damage, but these knights die very quickly to the town centers. And so diving with knights is not really an option. Another rocket cart goes down. Andy's planning on guard tower to protect himself. But he might need something on the stone pretty soon. More split micro from Lucho. No fear. Rocket carts go down. Andy has no army. Andy has no valuable army anymore. The cav archers are king. I mean, what is Andy supposed to make against this? He'll make some Chukanu. He could end up going for Skirm, maybe. His eco's pretty good. So I wouldn't hate Skirm. But I think Lucho's already expecting Skirm because he's clicking Cavalier as a counter to that. Lucho did have a lot more time to pressure this stone. But he's obviously doing other things. He's mixing in the trebs to push this castle back. He will castle the left side to take more golds. He'll find some more stone around the map. Castle right next to his trebs here would be sick. I'm not sure where the vills are going. Lucho. Still running around with these cav archers. And we have a tower from Lucho. Interesting. I would have gone castle, but I guess the rocket carts are still pretty scary. And he has to micro them down first. The tower is not going to be an issue. If he kills the rocket carts, this is still going to be fine for him. His micro is so good. He runs underneath the castle. He takes the rocket carts. Andy makes it to Imp. But he loses all his siege. He loses all his rocket carts. Castle's on the way down. Population says Andy's still in it. Resources says Andy's still in it. Relic count says Andy's still in it. Castle on the right gives Andy some opportunities. Remember, a lot of Andy's golds are behind these walls. A lot of his eco is behind the walls. Oh, God. Oh, God. And Lucho's running to the right to build a castle where Andy already has one. Lucho doesn't see this. He is not noticing that those vills are dying. So they're going to build the mining camp. Andy's castle is going to complete, and a lot of those vills go down. Andy will lose his castle, no doubt about it. And he'll lose it before conscription completes, I believe. But some good damage on the sides there. And that castle's pretty clutch. Yeah, conscription denied. So Lucho lost most of his cav archers. Guys, something you want to avoid in this game is tech switching after you lose all of one type of army. Because the counter to the new type of army is more obvious then. So, like, losing all your cav archers means that Andy's going to go pikeman because he knows clearly you're going for something to counter skirms, right? Or, like, you're not making cav archers anymore at the very least because he doesn't see any cav archers. I like this priority from Lucho. I know it feels like he's not pressuring the middle, which is still a really important area, but you can't give Andy this golds. You can't just let Andy have that castle. He shifts all of his army over to treb this down immediately. That'll get taken down. Left side, we've got some towers from both. Still love this castle from Lucho. The Chinese towers are pretty strong, but you do need to get Great Wall to increase the HP. And Great Wall you need a castle for. And he won't have his castles. He won't have any castles. And it's just guard tower v guard tower here. Now Andy will build a castle over here. But if Lucho sees that, he could just make trebs from this castle too. Andy's just struggling to keep his castles up. Just because he's late to the position. Lucho's playing great right now. Andy is sneakily going to get 6 relics, which is crazy. But he seems fairly committed to making Chukanu, and he never has the castles to keep them up. And without defensive castles, I think he's going to get raided to death. He does lose that monk, loses all these vills now. And I think Lucho will just pack up these trebs and wheel them over to this castle so we can pressure this one. There's also nothing from Andy to snipe trebs, right? He doesn't have bomber cannons with Chinese, but then also he doesn't have cav anymore. I think Lucho's got this one, guys. But Andy's made him work. I thought Imp was just kind of the game changer, and obviously it was, but that pressure from Andy was crazy on the front of the base. And maybe it's best to go skirmishers now, because there's not too much gold income for Lucho. He'll take this gold. He'll get this relic. There's still this gold, so he's still got like 5 or 6k more gold to work for, or work with. Bombard cannons are a great addition here for Portuguese. They're more... I guess the issue for Lucho has been he doesn't know where his siege needs to be. So he's been back and forth. He is getting Arquebus now, so I think he'll probably plan around going for that. But a siege workshop on the left would have been really nice. Random tower from Andy in the middle is hilarious. Another gold found from Lucho. Man, there's so many golds in King of the Desert 6 Arabia. I kind of like it, though, because it promotes map control, which I think is great. There's a big difference with the amount of stone these players have right now. And he's starting to wall around his trebs. He should be walling in front of his trebs. It's a shame we're not seeing people do that. Some people do, but I just think it's something players are not thinking of. I'm still planning my follow-up video to that, by the way, where we test different versions of the game. It's pretty much always been possible. Yeah, let's go, Andy. Let's go. Let's see if that treb takes any damage now. Finally, you place a tall wall piece in front of a treb. It can block some of the shots. It actually makes Lucho's decision easy, though. Lucho's just going to go for the castle now. You can't block that. That's 4 trebuchets onto the castle. Andy's running out of stone. And Andy has an army problem, man. His army type just seems to be worse than Lucho's. Lucho's cav will come to the left side. Lucho still has plenty of stone to repair. Lucho's bringing the bomber cannons now, too. The bomber cannons can snipe Andy's trebs. This is the Lucho that people were hyped about. This is the Lucho that people believe can go deep into tournaments, especially on Arabia. Just imagine if he didn't lose those fills and feudal age in the previous game. He might have won that one. Oh, God. Units could have got super trapped in there if Andy was on point. There was 40 calves stuck in a 2-tile gap. But he gets away. Andy will lose his castle. No doubt about it. And Andy's desperate to push this castle back. Not really a whole lot of fighting going on elsewhere. It's just here. There's another siege tower from Andy. Siege tower to the rescue. He does have a lot of halbs, but for how long? When there's a castle and there's hand cannons and there's skirmishers. Probably not for very long. The hand cannon's now affected by chemistry as well. Just eats those halbs. Maybe cannon galleons over here, chat? That could be decent. Worth considering. Lucho takes the engagement. And Lucho just melts through there. And I think Andy's going to have to tap out of this one. The towers are going down. Villagers are exposed on the front. There's not any positives on the sides for Andy. Another castle for Lucho to secure more of the map. First time Andy's been in an uber losing position. The whole series. So probably wants to play on, fight a little bit more. But we've got ourselves a set. And both players will have lost with their #1 pick, which is kind of crazy. Halb Siege Ram is sneaky good against what Lucho's making. And I was going to say Lucho might never go champions here because it's not a unit a lot of Arabia players love, but he's already teching it. So that's a smart play. And Portuguese champions are really solid, so... Is there anything that Portuguese struggle with in the game? Not really, right? It kind of can do everything. They have good economy, good tech tree. I guess they don't have one thing, which is way better than all the others. So, like, it's not like they don't get... Yeah, there's not one thing they do better than other civs. But they do everything very well, which is what makes them so solid. Yeah, Siege Rams tank a lot. This is where the champions are going to be needed. Like, even their bombard cannons, I would say, are worse than Hufnitsa. Or maybe worse than Turk bombard cannons, which is why I would say they're not the best at that. But yeah, they do get ballistics, I guess. The Rams can tank. Eventually, the mineable gold will run dry. So if Andy's working with 5 relics, maybe he feels like he's got a chance here. He also did tower Lucho off of this gold. That infantry transition needs to happen, but it's pretty much here. Two-handed swordsman is good enough. Champion's already on the way. The siege rams will get taken out. Also, a lead organ gun is in, too. Lucho's just having fun right now. He's experiencing the full tech tree. And this is where Andy's push hits a wall. And he actually still isn't mining any gold. And Lucho's still got gold over here. Lucho's still got gold over here. Great game, man. Really nice sets today. We've had a lot of sweeps so far in this tourney, so it's nice to see... It's nice to see some competitive back and forth games. It was bound to happen eventually. The early stages of knockout tournaments are usually when things are at their least competitive. Ideal world, the longer the tournament goes, the more competitive things get then. The siege tower shenanigans, not enough. Siege tower will go down. And Andy is truly testing my ability to talk about a game that is over right now. It's a good test. Well, guys, is this going to become a wood game? Maybe this becomes a wood game. Andy's running out of wood. Oh my god. I mean, he does have a lot of villagers over here. He is tower creeping big time. So maybe he feels like that's some type of a win condition for him. It's not going to matter if he loses his main base, but he is towering in here too. Lucho? If Andy repairs these towers, you will lose 40 pop. I think. Andy's not repairing. Now he is. Oh, God. Oh, my. Hello, Vils. Lucho, just leave here, my friend. Just leave. Just leave. Just leave. Just leave. All right, Lucho's going to lose 30 Vils. But he will have 30 champions and 30 organ guns instead of villagers, which is maybe good. So that's calculated from Lucho. He's letting the people die fighting. They always wanted to be a warrior, but they got chosen to be a villager. They were not free enough to make the choice for themselves. Their father's father was a villager, so they must be as well. It's funny, but Andy is now at 130 pop. So Lucho just lost 40 Vils, and he still popped at 200. And Andy has lost so much over here, and he can't replenish it, so... Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that was somehow calculated from Lucho. Just so we can get more army here. Brother! I don't want to be rude, Andy. But what exactly... what exactly is making you think this is winnable right now? Where are the relics at? It must be the relics. I mean, the relics are right here. It might be a little mental warfare, right? He's certainly battling against the casters right now. Oh, guys, we found out who Andy trained with. Apparently, Andy trained with ACCM for King of the Desert. So, you never really know. People don't say publicly who they train with, but it's clear now. But FreakinAndy and ACCM were training, which explains why they're both doing so well. And GG. GG. Yeah, I said it all before. I felt Lucho's adaptation at the start of Feudal Age was crazy. Like, that sneak man-at-arm play from Andy could have absolutely ended the game against so many other players. I thought his transitions were really smooth. I also think that Andy was a bit stubborn with his gold position. He worked so hard for this massive wall, and then in early Castle Age, somehow gold was an issue for him. And that doesn't really resonate well with me. What I would have expected for him to do is to house wall here, and then just take this gold. And then you always have the gold for knights. And then he got hit on the gold, and it took a really long time. Like, he's selling wood and stuff. It took a really long time to actually move back there. So, I still think Lucho's in a better position this game. I still think he played it really well. I liked his push and all that. But I think that certainly didn't help matters much for Andy. Sometimes going for those smaller walls that leaves resources exposed allows you to play into more military, which is what the Portuguese are really good at. So, Andy's still up 2-1, but a series like this could turn around pretty quickly, and Lucho just pretty much dominated every single step of the way there. So, with that feeling, if he takes it quickly into the next game, this could turn around, and we could have a reverse sweep on our hands. So, laming is probably taking place. We've got sheep on the way back. We've got a very hilly generation here. Romans, Byzantines. That's a fun matchup. Scout went forward for Andy. Stole 2 sheep so far. If he finds these sheep, that'll be 4 sheep stolen. Lucho's scout went forward. Lucho, oh my god, are you kidding me? He missed these 2 sheep. So now he's bailing on the lame idea, and he is going to lose this sheep. And actually, Andy's sheep might wander into the other sheep, and then Andy will have stolen 5 sheep, I think. This is bad for Lucho. This is really, 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 really bad. I mean, he's fortunate that he hasn't lost these 2. I think Andy's still hanging around. Still wondering, still hoping, and Lucho needs those 2 sheep right now. He'll find them. He's really lucky. Because right now, I mean, this is a generation that doesn't... Ooh, that's annoying. That's really annoying. This is a gen that doesn't have a lot of deer to recover from a lame. So, Andy just attacking for now so he can get away with the 1 sheep. The scouts are going to be very weak. The scout's stronger for Lucho. But Andy's been able to get home with those sheep now. Yeah, forget... I guess... Sorry, I'm going to step away for a second. I have to. We've had no breaks today. I got to use the restroom. But yeah, I'd expect Lucho to have to be very creative here. We might see a drush, but I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So the conversation at hand was, will Lucho have the food? And when you drush, you put yourself deeper into the cycle of needing the food to go feudal. So drush is a strategy you normally don't see if you're low on food. Because if that happens, if you start it, you then can't stop. But sometimes it turns into, well, I have 200 food. Oh, we find some sheep here. But I have 200 food. I don't have 500. Let's just make even more militia. He doesn't have his scout right now because he's pushing that 1 deer or looking for some deer at home. So he doesn't know exactly what he's looking for. He'll find the villagers here. But the scout's not here to block. So Andy, who's on the way to feudal age, should be fine for now. Andy has more food. Andy has cheap spears and cheap skirms with Byzantines. That's likely the game plan. 2 farms placed from Lucho. The other sheep are arriving at pretty much the perfect time, and I think he can manage this. I think he can just click up. 2 farms is a nice addition. People are pretty resistant to that these days, but he'll drop off at the berries. He clicks up to feudal. He sends 2 villagers to gold. Yeah, everything's looking good. Could have been bad. Also, nice try, everyone who always tries to act like I'm muted when I return from a break. I've been at this for too long to make that mistake. It's the first thing I look at. I always look to see if the mic is registering on the mixer. And Andy's in feudal age a bit faster, but Scout's now 11 HP, and Scout is 10 HP for Lucho, so I think Andy will add a spearman, head over there, hope to hit that Scout, but he'll just adapt from here. And there will be more militia now from Lucho. So 2 militia into the follow-up 2 militia with the hope of man-at-arms, just like he did in game number 1. Both Scouts actually went down. So both Scouts going down. Now Andy can't scout the follow-up. Lucho also can't scout the fact that Andy has a gold back here. Andy is aware that gold is back there, so I don't think he'll factor this gold into his plans. 4 militia. It makes me a little bit sad that Romans don't get arson here, because I think part of what makes this build is arson. But the 5% greater efficiency for Roman Eco is super smooth, so he's got that. Eco upgrades are coming in perfectly. Range is going up perfectly. And Andy's just hoping that the military units being cheaper will add up for him. Taking his time, walling up. Back's not walled, but that's not really a concern because Lucho won't go back there. And he's just chilling now. So we've got everyone's favorite military, skirmishers. It's a really technical opening. What we're seeing here, it's a really intense moment. But it's not the most exciting thing to watch. I think watching like Archer opening or like Man-at-Arms versus Scouts is a little bit more enjoyable. But remember, last time we saw this skirm defense against Man-at-Arms, that was the Inca game, Inca Chinese game. And the issue for the player who just opened skirms is they didn't have initiative. I think a slight difference here is that Lucho can't mix in Eagles. So it'll just be Man-at-Arm and skirm and maybe some Scouts later on. Also, we've got Byzantine skirms. They actually have a bonus for this, unlike the Chinese earlier. I don't think getting armor on the Man-at-Arms will change a ton here. At the end of the day, they're still just going to receive 1 shot, or 1 damage a hit. And Andy will never allow those Man-at-Arms to get close, because he's too good for that. Huh? What the? What? Okay. He missteps. And he runs right into the Man-at-Arms. And that's amazing for Lucho. Oh my god. What in the world? Was never expecting that to happen. And that's all amazing value for Lucho. He's already got the beautiful eco behind. So that engagement right there could change things. The fact that he's confident enough not to have the fully wall and he's just playing through army and aggression right now is already cool to see. But what on earth was that from Andy? I'm not really sure. My guess would be he was trying to place a house or some building and it wouldn't place immediately, and then he wasn't able to go back to his army right away. But he has to really stay deep on skirmishers now. Remember, Lucho doesn't have any upgrades here. Andy already has fletching. And Andy's the one who's still under pressure here. Villagers are exposed on the front. You can't lose army control here in general just because your farmers are going to be exposed too. Lucho's locked in right now, guys. What a turnaround. Andy's kind of falling apart. And if Lucho wins this, Lucho has all the momentum. think Andy's style typically struggles with, like... Andy's style is to give up map control and then take it back later. But it can be dangerous. And Lucho, he finds 2 villager kills. Oh my god. What in the world? It is nice to see that opening skirm has not performed well for either player in this game, in this series. Like, just playing defensive skirms and only playing defensive skirms has been punished by the Man-at-Arms skirm builds, which I think is good. That's exciting for me. Crazy that Lucho's done all this with no upgrades. He's done this with 1 archer range. Oh, sorry, he's on 2 ranges now, but... But okay, he's on 2 archer ranges now. But he was on 1 archer range for a while, right? Not really sure I like 2 ranged skirmishers here against Byzantines. But I guess... I don't mind it, because it protects from the camels in the long run. If you are making 1 range against 2 ranges right now, he'll eventually overtake you. And then the correct play for you likely is going to be knights against their skirm mass. And then Byzantines have you exactly where they want you because they could just make cheap camels. Like this stable edition from Andy. If it gets spotted, that's already not great. But it only has one scout right now. And we will have more man-at-arms from Lucho. What? Let's go, baby. Let's go. More infantry. And more skirms. And he's getting the armor on the infantry as well. So remember, he doesn't know that Andy has a gold in the back. So maybe he's investing all this because he thinks Andy needs to take this gold back. I'd be thinking Andy needs this gold because he's making the scouts too, which is kind of an act of desperation. But yeah, Lucho's macroed so well here. Just complete and utter confidence. No crazy walling. Mostly open. And he could focus down the stable with the man-at-arms now if he wants. 19 skirmishers for Lucho. If he stops producing, with that economy, he's going to be in Castle Age in no time. I think there's an argument. Once you get to 20 skirms in Feudal Age, you probably don't need any more. I'm not really sure how the numbers change anything. Yep, and decent fight. Kills off the scout. Kills off some skirms. Andy still took a good engagement there. And Lucho will drop the market. Lucho will complete his walls just so no counters come in. A lot of walling to do. But Andy's just has never had control this game. He doesn't have Arson Jondrin because Romans don't get Arson. Which makes me sad. But it could be OP if they had it. Because their infantry is already so good. So maybe it makes sense for them to lack that upgrade. Usually an upgrade like that, you wouldn't expect me to have memorized. But I think that tells you just how commonplace it is to see Arson right now. And as I've said, it's one of my favorite changes to the game in recent times. So good. Walls need to be perfect for Lucho. No holes. Oh, God. There's a gap there. But will Andy assume there's a gap there? There's also a gap here, which Lucho will house wall. Oh, there's a gap there. No. Lucho. He's so focused on the fights, and the scout counterattack from Andy gets in. What a great call from Andy to counter. Like, oh my God, man. Oh, it was so perfect until it wasn't. Villagers are off gold now. That's 4 villager kills. Andy's on the way to Castle Age. Remember, Byzantine units are absolutely insane. He's still very safe. Gets to the wood line to maybe kill more. Or he can just come right back to the gold. I think there's a hole here, right? Like between these houses? That's always the culprit in AoE, is house walls on elevation. Realistically, players know that, and they should check for that, but there's a lot of work with the engagements, so And Man-at-Arms are going down, but more are being produced right now, too. So the plan is going to be longswords for Lucho, not knights. Yeah, what you should do is you should complete your full walls and then click outside, and then you can find gaps like that. But because he wasn't completely walled, he was never in the state where he would want to click outside, as weird as that sounds. But yeah, the gap is between those houses there. I don't think a patch should fix this, guys. It's not like a thanks to E moment. It's just how AoE 2 works. Everybody knows it. Lucho knows it, and he was punished by it because he has a lot of other things to focus on. Lucho's in Castle Age. Lucho is taking a big engagement here, and he'll have longsword soon. I think Andy needs knights and monks. But good luck having your stables for very long if longsword is in. Also, monks are kind of tricky if the skirm numbers are out later on. Lucho is... Lucho underneath the TC there for a little while. I mean, I know what Andy's going to do. He's just going to counterattack with the first two knights. And he's going to try and hold here, right? Nope. Looks like I'm wrong on that. The stable needs to be repaired. Longsword upgrade still is not in. Scouts are still running around from Andy. It looks like he killed a 6th villager there. So he has the villager lead. This is an uncomfortable situation for a player like Lucho. I don't think playing longswords is something that he has done that frequently. And I'm worried about his skirms now. His skirms get jumped on by the knights. We've got a monk from Andy coming out behind. And then every time a longsword tries to engage, one will get converted, and then the monk can heal up any damage. Knight monk skirm is a better comp, in my opinion. 4 barracks for Lucho. 4 barracks. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I think he needs elite skirm as well. Because you need these skirms to snipe monks and to snipe the other skirms, which of course help. Like, skirm, especially against Civ that don't get bloodlines, is actually still really good in these numbers. But he's lost a lot of them. And he falls back. I think he's debating on a town center here. So he can take this gold, because he will run out of this gold eventually. Crazy that he chooses to do it right now. Also, his units are just blocking everything. He doesn't have any monks here for conversions yet, but he still has the hill. 20 long swords for Lucho. Is that enough? Is it long enough? Is it thick enough? I didn't mean for that to be weird, but it just sounded very weird. Knights and skirmishers engage. Where's the monks from Andy? Where are the monks from Andy? I'm expecting his monks to be around for a conversion or something, or some healing. Hasn't happened. I'm avoiding my chat, even though I deserve the jokes. Yeah, that TC's super ambitious. Lucho says, not today. And TC gets deleted. The frequency in which Andy adds TCs in desperate times is ridiculous. Like, even in that one game earlier, he's dropping castles with no army protection on a hill in the middle of the map. It's crazy. Andy takes a fight. I don't know if he can beat the Roman infantry. The numbers are insane. Lucho has got villagers in his sights on the left side. He's underneath the town center. The tankiness of the Roman infantry is working. And there's a siege tower apparently coming across the map as well. Lucho is gone for it. And Andy just wasn't patient enough. I don't think he expected the commitment. The woodline's being massacred. The knights are all dying. The monks have even gone down too. And we are about to get a 5th game. I think I should slow down, because still longswords die underneath TCs. And I've seen longswords drop off after a while, but no, he's just got more. He's just got more on the way. He's made it into the back of the economy. And he's got nothing. I just can't help but feel like that town center was just him completely underestimating his opponent's position. There's the siege tower. I would have expected double monastery, double stable. Or at least to have his monks actively in the fights, but it never really were. 52 vills versus 50. Lucho says, how do you like it, bro? Choo-choo! How do you like it? Did it to me in game 2. And he rolls in to the top of the hill, out of the siege tower, back inside the siege tower, into the back. Quite a few weak vills here for Andy. And he is going to try and complete this town center now. But the back of his eco is just awful. The siege tower will die. But yeah, congratulations, villagers. You killed the siege tower, and now you die. And now this TC's on the way up. And Lucho didn't know about that. So the TC will actually complete. Is there still a chance for Andy? I don't think so. Lucho needs to bring the boys and girls forward. He's been on stone for a while. Just use your army now. Protect your army. Drop a castle on this TC, and it's game over. This was always going to be all-in 1 TC aggression from Lucho. He just has to bring the vills. And here they come. Yeah. Andy, the whole game, the theme has been kind of the theme of the Byzantines. You just defend from what your opponent does. And you hope to outlast them. But, like, Romans are hit a little bit different. But this matchup's horrible for the Romans if it goes late. So really good understanding of that from Lucho to play this aggressive. He'll have his own monks to convert his units back if he needs. He's bringing a lot of vills. He's got double-digit villagers. And he's placing a castle that will range both town centers, not just one. Let's go, Lucho. Let's go. That's so sick, man. That's so sick. I mean, that castle's going up, right? Game 5. Let's go. Game 5. FreakinAndy could not stop the infantry spam. When I saw early engagements in Castle Age for Lucho, I was a little concerned. I thought that maybe he was being a little wasteful, but the infantry they just kept coming. Like, he would lose a fight or he would lose a unit. Normally, you don't want to lose a couple units underneath a TC or whatever. But he'd always have 10 more. So, good thinking. The stone you obviously have to think about, too. And yeah, he was able to get the engagements he wanted. I still cannot understand Andy's town center out here. Like, this town center is wild to me. This tells me that he thinks that he's won the fight. Where was this? Like, here, he sees that many swordsmen, and he thinks it's worth it. I mean, maybe it's worth the risk, but I think the thing he was missing was a couple monks. Like, I expected Andy to have 5 monks here at all times, and with 5 conversions and then with the healing, you could maybe take the fight. So, yeah, GG. We move into the next game. So, game 5, I mean, an hour ago, Andy was loving life. He was up 2-0, and it looked like Lucho could potentially crumble. All the storylines, right? This person's, an underdog. This person doesn't have as much experience. Elo doesn't matter. All those storylines started to come to the forefront. But now, suddenly, all that stuff does matter, and Lucho showing how good he is on Arabia. 3rd game in a row, they're trying to lame each other. Makes sense. Floodgates are opened. And boars will spawn on the front sometimes, so they're just praying to the RNG gods that they find something. And Andy will find the boar. And not only that, he'll find the boar on the hill, too. So he can take this and receive less damage from the scout. Maybe it looks like the boar almost got 3 hits there. Lucho, he should be able to see this now. Ooh, Lucho's going to try and stop this. Lucho is definitely going to try and stop this. He's trying to intercept. Now, Andy, he doesn't know that scout is coming in. Oh, and it stops. And he hits it twice again, and his scout is so weak now. But because the boar stopped, he thought he was going this way. Oh, so he's out of position now. Because if the boar was continuing to chase, it would have seen it much earlier. Well, Andy, you cannot lose your scout here. Losing your scout is unacceptable. Lucho should be attacking the scout, right? Lucho should be attacking the scout, but I don't think he realizes how weak it is. And now there's a villager here. And Lucho wants the boar back. And Lucho's not getting that boar back, guys. He is down a boar. But he might be able to somehow stop Andy from getting it. Well. All right. Well, Andy, get your mule cart. Wheel that mule cart over here. Yep, there it is. Mule cart's on the way. Bring the mule cart over to the boar. Thankfully, you're Georgians. So you could still take the food. And then maybe you could take your wood with the mule cart as well. That really hurts Lucho. Oh, man. Oh, Lucho. Guys, Lucho doesn't know anything. Lucho is completely blind. He found these sheep. Luckily, he didn't even know they were there. He found some sheep. He's going to push in a deer. He doesn't know about this boar. He doesn't know about these sheep either. So this really delays him. Meanwhile, Andy's Georgian, so his scout will regen slowly, but still it will regen in feudal. And Andy will have some work to do as well, but he will have essentially, let's say 2.5 boars, because some of this is decayed, against 1 boar. Assuming Lucho finds this. No one ever steals 2 boars, so Lucho should know this is out here. Okay, he takes that, and then he sees the boar. Ultimately, I think he's going to be fine. He just can't go for the super fast builds, but neither can Andy. Andy will probably be up a villager or 2 faster, but that's probably about it. With someone asking how come you can take the boar after the scout killed it. They made a change, so if your TC in military kills an animal, you can still eat it. So you'll see people shooting stuff with the TC all the time now. It's no longer a mistake. I personally still think... I personally am not completely a fan of that. What I would like is I would like if you kill something with your TC or with military, that there's 80% of the food left or something. That way there's a little bit more... I don't know. I find it more interesting. There's pros and cons, right? So if you nuke it with your TC... there's a downside. If you kill something like there, Lucho makes a play to kill the boar with his scout, he's rewarded for it. I don't know. It's not that big a deal, but that's been my take from the start. I think it's too late. The reason I can be kind of particular on balance changes is because once you go a certain direction, you can never go back, you know? I don't think they'll ever change that. Weird walls from Andy. Really weird walls if he wants to incorporate this gold. This gold is ugly. Both golds are ugly. Yeah, I agree. I think it's too late. If they were going to do that, they could have done that. It's too late to make any changes to it. It is what it is now. Andy takes some deer. Andy certainly made use of the mule carts. Andy could wall this way. But feels like he wants to go spears. He wants to go scouts. Very open base, though. But it will probably be more walled because the starting scouts are weak. Well, actually, that's not true. Lucho's scout is full HP. And it's a Magura scout, so... Lucho, if anything, could be walling. You don't really have a... you don't really have many crazy eco bonuses either, so priority should be getting the numbers out quickly. Now, the regen for Andy is slow, but I would just scout the map. Weirdly enough, you almost want to avoid the base a little bit. And okay, he's going to push in another deer. I guess that's also avoiding the base, because you just don't want that scout to find you. But that's the downside of the lane. Now Andy's base is making a little bit more sense, because he'll build up with this gold in mind. And he'll make a stable, and same deal for Lucho. Lucho getting double bit. Lucho protecting in front of his gold as well with his own stable, and will find the scout and says, no deer for you. It's just so greedy from Andy. Like, you have sheep here. I would say it's so unnecessary to try and push an extra deer there, but every advantage he can get, he's going to want to take here. The spearman finds the woodline. He doesn't know anything about the base layout, right? He can assume scout opening, but because of the lame, he has no intel on where resources are located. Quite a few spearmen so far for Lucho. He's going to apply pressure with more of them. I think he's defending with some and being aggressive with others. And Andy runs away with the scout. Ooh, 2 HP. So yeah, any other Civ scout and that would have died. But because it's slowly regenerating, it still can go out and scout. Attack happening on the scouts there. The regen's not that good. Andy won't be satisfied with that. But Andy will have the berries protected. The farm and wood area is somewhat protected. Just wonder if Lucho will consider a dive here. He was testing to see if Andy would garrison there, and he definitely got him to do so. Just noticed 4 on food for Lucho. So he finished his berries, and he's got 4 farmers. It's barely enough to produce vills. He'll obviously add more, but he's got to add more amongst the chaos. That should mean scout production grinds to a halt. So he needs the army that he has now to get some value. And I respect the fact that he continues to ask questions of Andy. Someone might assume that Andy's just fully walled already, but he's looking for the damage and he'll find it. Andy's got the 4 forward spears. I really like Lucho's position. The forward spears are annoying. And Andy's got spearmen all over too, but he doesn't have forging. But Andy's also incredible with vill fighting. Just not where you want to be fighting with vills. Maybe you do, though. See what I mean? Like, Andy's so good at just staying in these fights. Having just enough. Lucho's sending more spearmen forward. No archer range yet. I think that'll happen in a second. Feels very natural for both players to consider golden and archer range, but Andy is held. Hasn't lost a unit yet. How? They both had higher TC idle time than they've had in other games. More spearmen for Lucho. Won't look all that good once the wall's complete here. If the wall's complete here. Because more spears are on the way. And he thinks he's got this walled up pretty much. Like, in his mind, this is no longer a problem. Could be a problem. Lucho's still stubbornly holding this open, but that is 1 blacksmith. That is 2 houses away. Now it's a palisade and a house away from going down. You have to back up for a second. There's the blacksmith. Andy's worried, and Andy will wall it up. Walls it up just to play it safe. Probably a good move. Now, if he walls here, and he's going to try now, his gold is protected. But look at that. He just finished his berries with 10 vills. So, I prefer Lucho's position because Lucho already had that happen. So, Lucho's got 20 farms up. Andy's got 12. And they both made a bunch of spears. I guess one of the key differences would be that Lucho does have scouts to deal with, and he doesn't have the walls up yet. So economically, Lucho's great. He has to protect it. Andy's got an exposed vill. Finally, he'll lose one, maybe. More scouts being produced at home for Lucho to defend. His walls get up just in time there on the wood line. Still no losses for Andy with vills, but it is really awkward. And this is definitely build a market territory for Andy's eco balance. This is 21 on wood is not what he wants. Lucho runs into the town center. Scouts get here, and Lucho finds it perfectly. Lucho tracked that so nicely. He saw the scouts on the wall. He's also really confident to add the amount of scouts he did. He just matched the scout numbers. The last 2 games, he's just played much heavier through army. Which, I don't know. I guess he did try and do in some of the other games, but it's been working. Andy still has a headache here because the freaking spearmen are hanging around. So he has to make more and more spears. He did an amazing job not to lose any villagers so far, but he finally loses one. And now he drops the market. 19 farms for Andy, so that's looking good. And Andy can actually leave his base, and Lucho can't. And he'll bring his spears to the scouts, and Lucho backs off. And now Andy builds the house real quick to keep these from escaping as well. This is so crazy, man. This is so awkward to control. Yeah, one mistake, everything just disappears to these spearmen. Lucho, 8 spears in queue? What? 8 spears? You see this? 7 spears in queue? Oh, man, the nerves are sky high for him right now. That is not what he wants. I mean, it's not bad. Okay, he canceled them. I was going to say it's not bad to have Spearman in queue, but you need to have a gauge. You need to have an understanding of that so you don't over queue and misspend your res. So the fact that he canceled that is huge because Andy's on the way up to Castle Age. Really close game. And I would say that, I mean, certainly feels like an easier game for Lucho to play if he can just get to Castle Age. He's got so much more army. But Andy getting to Castle Age faster, that's always pretty nice. But he's got a lot of Magyar scouts to contend with. He's got a lot of the spearmen to contend with. The spears and the scouts only get stronger. And guys, there might be a hole between these houses. There's a chance because, like we said earlier, the house walls on the elevation, there's always that ever so slight chance. I mean, that would have been GG. So I'm really glad the game didn't end like that because I want this one to go late. Andy's scouts are out looking for maybe a random archer or two running forward, as there are some archers in the group. He drops archer range number 1 here. That's not archer range 2. That is archer range 1. And there's another hole on the houses for Lucho. You have got to be freaking kidding me, dude. Just double check your walls, my friend. Please. Please. It's not as bad as it was last time. He didn't lose a villager yet. But that is frustrating. We'll plug the gap. Andy's scouts now can't move out to the other areas of the map. First thing Andy does is he drops a church. But he's got 1 archer range against 3 archer ranges from Lucho. And Lucho will actually just add some scouts to go attack this right now. Andy's gonna boom. Well, this is the difference in their styles, right? Andy's gonna boom, no map control. Probably start to think about some relics or whatever. I guess his army comp is gonna be Manaspa. When I saw this matchup, I was thinking Cav Archers all the way. Scouts into Cav Archers. Magyar's Cav Archers mass faster. Georgian Cav Archers regenerate. They both have good Cav Archers, but Magyar Cav Archers are stronger. This little Spearman Archer army is nice. The Scout army on the map is nice. I think Lucho can do this, guys. I think Lucho should do this. And he's playing really sharp, too. Like, eco upgrade timings locked in. Army transition was really nice, even though it was awkward, the Spear edition. Andy's now pushed off the gold. I just don't think Andy's done enough to get the map. And if his plan was Cav Archers, he can't make Cav Archers with no gold. He'll probably try and sneak out to this gold at some point. But this is looking great for Lucho right now. And at like 18, 19 years old, to come back from a more established player like this after losing the first 2 games is something else. This would be a great result. And he's just continuing to pile on pressure. Stonewalls from Andy. Andy will not make this easy. Andy does have enough Cav Archers back here to maybe get some shots over the walls, but TC number 3 for Lucho. Damn, being able to get that and ballistics is crazy timing. That's so good. Yeah, Lucho's like 18 or 19 years old. You can check his Liquipedia profile. I'm not sure which. He's really talented. Like 3 or 4 years ago, he was 16 or 1700 elo. And now he's 2800 elo, and he's potentially about to reverse sweep FreakinAndy. I mean, with ballistics being in, Andy shouldn't be able to win any fights right now. Andy will have a really tough time. He does get the gold. He does get the wood line. But, I mean, it's just... things are not going according to a very strong plan for Andy right now. It's just all adapting. I think If Andy can play guard tower defense, maybe he can chill for a minute. But this is just all happening so fast. The army's going to break in. There's going to be villagers exposed everywhere. And behind it, the economy is super smooth for Lucho. Remember, no eco bonuses for the Magyars. So it's not like he's got some special bonus at play that allows him to do this. Like in the Portuguese game, maybe that would have been more impressive. The spears and the archers will go down. They're throwaway units. So that's fine. I think you can justify a siege workshop to try and push this TC, but you don't need to. Because you can also just continue to hold the map. This is a Cav Archer battle. You're already ahead in that. So just roaming around the map and just out-booming your opponent at home is completely fine if you're Lucho. Andy is struggling. He'll drop 3 ranges now. But the upgrades are behind. The numbers he's behind in. I want to see when Lucho goes stone. Stone should happen soon if he's playing in towards a castle. But if he doesn't go stone over the next minute, and this is assuming he's like fully locked in, which I think he is, I think he just skips it entirely and plays around Bracer and Chemistry for the Cav Archers. Maybe he starts to take stone while he's on his way to Imp. Andy, his whole plan has been stone, just to get to a castle. But that is not a castle that you would really have wanted to place in between your 2 town centers there. And yes, I agree. I think playing Cav Archers against Magyars long-term only gets worse. So it's worrying signs for Andy. Yeah, I really like what Lucho's doing right now. He's playing a perfect game. There's the stone. And that could be for that castle timing, like we said. You can't really place a castle that easily denies both these golds, but you could place the castle here and then use your army to deny this gold. Like Cav always running around too. Like he's everywhere right now. Snipes a Vil, runs away. He's playing so clean. Now, remember the Chinese game? Well, I guess the Chinese game for Andy. So Chinese-Portuguese. Andy lost that game, but he had a really big push back right when Lucho was about to imp. I think that could happen. Still. It'll be awkward, but maybe with some Manaspa mixed in with some CA, he's got some chances. Lucho almost seemingly expected that. Like Cav around, and oh, Lucho's gonna find the CA. He reacted to this instantly. Getting some damage done. You really want the kills against Georgians because the regen. You should get one. You should get like 2. Yep. Gets enough. 27 Cav Archers for Lucho. Only 10 for Andy. Andy got breathing room. He got space to move out to this wood line and move out to this gold. But yeah, there's just Cav Archers everywhere. Lucho's on the way to the Imperial Age. Lucho will have Bracer Cav Archers all around the map. Andy's going to have to really work hard now. I don't know. Stonewalling the map is definitely one thing you could try. I think it's something you have to do. You need space for your eco to breathe. So it's probably the one thing that he could try right now to come back. Counterattack as well is always a good option. So this is good. He makes it through. Lucho will probably bring his whole army home to deal with that right now. This is some good damage, potentially, for Andy. But there's also nice damage here from Lucho. Andy will clear this, though. And Andy has pushed Lucho off of stone. It's good counter damage from FreakinAndy. Only behind by 5 Vils. He can get his stone walls. It's the first glimpse of hope for Andy. But these Cav Archers will die, and so it's going to be the same issue. The same issue as Cav Archer numbers, but at least he's given himself some time and space to breathe a little. Now, Lucho just gets close, so the dancing doesn't ensue, and he'll win the fight with the numbers. Still has 30 CA. Wall's completed for Andy. But Imp is about to be in for Lucho. His castle's way later than he wanted because he had to shift all those vills around. So he won't have that, which means it delays Trebs, it delays recurve bow. But does that really matter? Like, with this much map control, this many CA? I mean, Andy still can't take the main gold? Like, I don't know if it's going to matter at all. Lucho's got 17 vills in queue, still 500 food in the bank. This dude's economy is insane right now. I wonder how it feels to be Andy after being up 2-0. And then you blink, and now it's 2-2, and your opponents hit Imp in game 5. Like, thumb ring on the way. Heavy Cav Archer, Bracer, Chemistry. And the Cav Archers get even stronger than that. You can research the final armor. You also can get recurve bow for extra attack and range. Like, Georgians just cannot be fighting this with Cav Archers. And Scorpions is not good enough either. This is GG. Lucho will focus fire down the Scorpions. He'll let the rest of the army do the work. This is over. Reverse sweep from Lucho. Has to be. Andy won't want to accept it, but has to be. I don't even think that church is terrifying enough. You could just run right in there. It's the fact it is a fortification and it does fire arrows has him scared. I guess he gives Andy some time to cook because Andy's got some space back here to work with. But I would actually play defensive castles now instead of forward castles. You don't need the castle on the face. But I just love Magyar late game. And I'm more of a defensive castle type of guy. So I guess to really send the message, to really put your foot down here and finish it, you go for the forward castle, deny the stone. Andy will try skirms. But guys, he's just completely outmassed. And if you try skirms, and you only have 5 of them, that's not enough. And if you get to 50, Lucho's economy is going to be good enough to get Paladin here. And Georgians missed the final armor upgrade on their skirms. So Georgians are meant to be good for the opening because of the mule card. But more and more, I feel like if they have to play towards range units, it's kind of a struggle compared to some other civs. Lucho completes the castle. We'll start to treb back Andy's fortifications here. And Andy's just turtled up in this tiny little corner, hoping for the best. I just do not see any positives. Lucho just can't make mistakes from here. He's played with so much comfort, so much ease. Outpost on the right side. Outpost on the left side. And now recurve bow. I actually really like the one trip. I also think it's hilarious that he spam clicks box formation so much that occasionally you'll see an army of 50 just go into a massive box. That always cracks me up. Yeah, you've got 7 plus 5 attack with 8 range soon for these CA. Like, they just melt skirmishers. No chance. As he patrols there, I'm sure he's adding farms at home. Maybe moving vills around for different areas, like maybe a castle here. There's the stables going up for the potential Hussar switch. He's just being really patient. Neither civ gets bombard cannon, so this is mainly about the trebs now. And yeah, those skirms are as upgraded as Andy can ever get them. And we've got a castle from Lucho. He's really sending it with the castles. Lucho, brother, bro, dude. All right, well, that's a doubt castle. Potentially worrying signs. I still don't think it's that big of a deal. He's melted all the skirms. He doesn't need that castle to win the game. He's still got the trebuchets here. He's still got the Cav Archers, and the Cav spam is going to be coming. But it is spawn towers for Andy. So the towers do some pretty decent damage. Many of the Cav Archers are weak. And Lucho's losing more vills now. He's going to force it here. He's running in after the trebs. Can he take the trebs down? Because if he loses the the castle here and that other castle on the left side gets denied, this could be winnable for Andy. Lucho's thrown a lot away here. It's completely unnecessary to build this castle. Just build it here on the left. Play safe. Build your other castles across the map. You never lose. But to go forward castles like this gives Andy a chance. It gives Andy a target. And he's getting keep now. I mean, imagine the panic for Lucho if he loses this castle and raids start to happen. But, I mean, it's underneath the TC. Andy isn't able to notice that. Andy's still looking here. Units can be sent over here to deal with this, most likely. Still not in love with that castle for Lucho. I prefer it on the left hill after he clears that army. He's going to dive with the Hussars for the Trebs. It's over. It's over. He loses the castle. He does lose the castle, but he'll take the trebuchets from Andy. Andy has no gold income. Andy has no map control. He will, okay, save his Trebs. Save 2. He will take some gold over here. All right, all right. Not over. Not over. Not over. Andy has not heard a bell. But, I mean, tons of gold and stone around the map for Lucho. He's still probably fine. But he's got to play the late game. I would think, like, full fortified wall the side. You can't let this stuff happen, man. You can't let Andy escape from his little nook. Dude, guys, if Andy wins this game, that would be unreal. There should be no way. He needs to get to Hussar and he needs to raid, because Lucho not having defensive castles makes him very vulnerable. But his eco is still so many steps away from that. These towers are wrecking, though. Holy cow. The towers have 45 kills already. What? Spawn towers. Crazy tech. Oh, God. Lucho's losing vills over here. What? 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 Is this happening? This can't be happening. I'm losing my mind right now. This can't be happening. And like Andy and Lucho will both feel this too. Like Andy's like, wait a second, I might have a chance here. This trebuchet will go down. The towers though are being repaired constantly. And he's sneaking them up in different positions. Is making it really tough for Lucho to break. And Lucho's going for siege engineers now. By the way, what Lucho could have done different before was just defensive castles and raid from the sides. But now you can still do that. So just Hussars into the side eco. Hussars into the side eco. Castles through the middle. Protect your trebs with your cav archers. He's still got the key ingredients here. Now, Andy will try and stonewall this, but the thing is he can't tower and stonewall forever. If these Hussars make it back here, it really hurts. The trebuchets are trying to take down churches and towers. Andy's repairing what he can, but he'll run out of stone. He'll lose villagers to the Hussars. He's church rushing. In Game 5, this is real life. He is church rushing the trebuchets. So he's using a building to rush the military unit designed to take down buildings. Because they're so freaking tanky, but that's not army, guys. You need army. You need resources. You need economy. So having your vills inside of church, not exactly going to help the economy. I would be absolutely gutted for Lucho if he would have lost this game. He deserved this. This is sick. He tried to just finish the game with the style move. Andy denied that, but he's still going to take care of this. He did enough. You know, drop a castle over here and take that gold away from Andy. He actually might run in and finish this castle soon. It'll be very weak, but the foundation's still there. He probably needs more than 50 on food. I mean, that's fine, but having like 60, 70 on food for more Hussars could be good. He also only has 5 stables. Could probably add more of those as well. Would I gift 50 subs if Lucho wins this game? Yeah, 100%. There's no way he loses. There's no way. Actually, Svan Tower is looking pretty strong. Can I make it 25? I say that, and then I see Svan Towers like melt like 12 units. And 4 towers here of 43 kills. Obviously, he's lost a couple of them. But yeah, Lucho will win this. Lucho will win. He thankfully was far enough ahead that he could make the mistake of going for the aggressive move and take losses and then learn from it. And now he's playing relaxed. I think once he clears the left side, he can drop a castle here. Take that gold. And then he's got castles just completely surrounding Andy. Andy doesn't even have chain barding armor. I mean, these cav are incredibly weak. What's going on, though? Like, how does Andy still have churches everywhere and there's trebs? I feel like the church HP, the church armor is ridiculous. Look at, bro, look at these towers. Oh my God. Andy is building churches as distractions so the towers can get kills. And he's going to build another church on the left now. The towers are insane. How much gold is left on the map? 11K. I mean, Lucho will lose access to this gold. That's 6K. He will gain this gold, though, which is the rest of it, I think. 4K. I hate these freaking churches, man. No disrespect meant to God or anything, but I really hate these churches. I'm sick of fortified churches. I'm sick of them getting dropped on my face in early Castle Age. I'm sick of them building faster than I feel they should. I'm sick of trebuchets not being able to take them down. But it's over. It's over, man. Lucho does it. That is crazy. It looked so bad the first 2 games. I mean, Andy was playing really well. I felt like maybe Andy's style was going to counter him. Because my worry for Lucho was that he doesn't have the experience, and Andy has a tendency to play Arabia differently. I thought that Lucho would be too meta, and that maybe because he was too meta, he wouldn't be able to expect what his adaptations needed to be. But he adapted perfectly, and he used the meta to win. Like, the meta is meta for a reason. I don't know how meta going forward with Spearman is, because he made a lot of Spearmen this game. He made 15 Spearmen, but that worked really well. He stopped Andy from walling up. He had his boar stolen, guys. Game 5, boar stolen. Like, we were questioning whether he was going to be able to have a good build in the first place. But Lucho is a beast. Keep an eye out for him, guys. He's only getting better. He's like 18 or 19 years old. He moves into the round of 16. Exciting stuff for him. Andy, I feel bad for. I think Andy's going to want some games back. But ultimately for Andy, I think he lost games the way he won games. Building town centers and undercutting military numbers when he maybe needed them. His TC positions at times were a little bit off. The timing on making certain types of army is maybe a little bit off, but it's just a little bit off compared to Lucho, who's one of the best Arabia players out there. So, yeah, GG to Lucho. Congratulations. That was a really good series. That's the first 5-game set I think I've covered in this tournament. There might have been 1 or 2 of them, but hopefully we get a lot more. But yeah, GG to him, man.